as usual. I'll just give you a brief introduction of myself. So I'm Talal Ramadan. I hold a bachelor's degree in banking and finance from Bahrain Polytechnic. Uh, I have multiple finance certifications in different fields in finance. I started my first investment when I was 16 years old. I work in the financial sector in Bahrain, and I'll be educating you on how to invest in gold, what are the different types of gold purities that are available in the market, in the Bahraini market specifically, where to invest, how to invest, etc. I'll be covering those topics. Just please let me know if you can see my screen visible.
Yes.
All right. 1 second. Slideshow from current slide. Okay. Um, just to have a little bit of understanding, I want to know how many of you have invested in gold before? Did anyone have any experience investing in gold? When? How was the market at that time? Any thoughts, any ideas before we start the session? All right, let me just open the Zoom again. I can't see the meeting. Okay. Okay. I can see that Hussein have bought a few gold biscuits. Great. Okay. So let me just give you a brief introduction about why people like gold. Gold has been, over the years, it has been proving that it is against inflation. So if inflation increases by, let's say, 2%, we can see that gold always beats this 2%. Whenever there is any geopolitical situation, whenever there is any tensions in the region, we can see that gold is always increasing in price. Whenever there is a currency devaluation, especially with the US dollar, we can see that whenever the US dollar decreases in value, gold increases on the other side as well. So in terms of currency, it is always a good balance to have gold in your portfolio. When we speak of allocation, when we speak of how much of your portfolio should be allocated in gold, we are not seeing a big percentage. We can see that uh, healthy investors only have 5 to 10% of their portfolio within the market in gold. All right. Okay. Now, gold and silver are always said to be twins, but there are a few differences that any investor needs to understand. Um, Gold is mainly used in the jewelry sector. It is heavily demanded by the central banks. So we have the Central Bank of China as the biggest purchaser of gold, the US as well. We have different countries, China, Japan, etc. Now, how about the volatility in the gold market? It is, let's say, more of a moderate liquidity where you can buy and sell easily. Uh, the correlation is kind of the same with the silver. Like if we can see that silver is up 10%, we can see that gold is as well going up by 10%. In terms of store of value, we can see that both of them are considered store of value, of course. However, in terms of liquidity and when trying to resell physical gold bars, it is more easier to sell it than silver. Um, when we speak of silver, the price movements or the jumps are bigger in comparison to gold. So when we see that gold is moving due to a political tension, silver does increase in price as well, however, with a bigger margin. All right, any questions so far? Do you recommend buying physical gold or gold ETFs? I will come to that question. Definitely, that's a part of the presentation as well. All right. Going ahead with the question. So we have three types of investments in gold and silver. You can either buy gold as in um, bars, physical gold, jewelry, biscuits, as Hussein mentioned. But we have trade-offs, like we have advantages and disadvantages of different, let's say, investments in gold. For the physical gold, the pro of it is that you can see that you have it. It's something tangible in your hand. You can store it at your house. That's not an issue. There is no counterparty risk. There is no risk of someone not being able to access their portfolio account, for example, etc. However, when we speak of physical gold, we speak about storage. When you get a 10,000 dinars gold bar, you need to be considered or concerned about the storage. Where are you going to store it? Is it in a safe place? Is it, let's say, exposed to any risk in terms of, let's say, someone stealing it or etc. But when we speak of gold ETFs, I do recommend, especially during geopolitical tensions, when there are, let's say, no gold bars in the market, the premiums are hiking in price, etc. We have also as well the third type of investment in the, can you please repeat the last point? Can you please remind me of what the last point was? Because I spoke about physical gold and gold ETFs. Which one do you mean? Okay, by the time Sam responds, let me go to the gold miners. So the third type of investment, you can invest in gold miners companies. Like we have companies that mine gold, produce gold in different, let's say, regions. When you invest in them, you kind of get the exposure of gold prices and the gold movement. All right. Again, I told you that a healthy investor needs to have 5 to 10% of his portfolio in gold. Is it a must? No, it's not. You can adjust your percentage and allocation based on your risk appetite. We have that people who are concerned by inflation, they may have 10 to 15 or maybe 20% of their portfolio in gold as well. 5 things to remember about gold. ETFs are always better than jewelry. When you buy any jewelry piece from Bahrain or outside Bahrain, you pay a making charge and a premium of, let's say, a minimum 20 to 40%, which is extremely high. I don't see that any jewelry piece or anything that you can wear is considered an investment instrument. Not at all. I do recommend gold bars, gold ETFs, and gold miner stocks as well. For the silver, we have seen a dramatic, let's say, movement in silver over the past, let's say, 1 year. Prices have been hiking upside. We can see that there is, let's say, movements that are not normal due to the fact that futures are being traded and futures increase the prices heavily. We can see that 70% or almost 80% of the tradable gold and silver is not in physical matters, but in futures and forward agreements. All right. So now I'll take you through. Let me just stop sharing this. Let me check the chat first. What is gold ETF? Because gold is the only thing not multiple. Okay, so we have gold ETFs in different, let's say, ways. We have the SLV, we have the GLD. They all track the same instrument. They all track gold. So if gold increases in price by 3%, this specific ETF increases in price by 3% respectively. Which gold ETF do you recommend? Any gold ETF is recommended. However, the lower the commission, or the lower the expense ratio, the better in terms of return. Okay, so let me just share my screen again. Okay, can you see this visible? Yes, no? Where do we find gold ETFs? You can find them on interactive brokers, as Dr. Emma mentioned. You can find them as well on Mubasher Capital. You can buy, let's say, gold as well through the KFH application. How is the expense ratio calculated for gold? The expense ratio is a fee, let's say, that the fund manager charges. It's different. It is not calculated. It's just stated by the fund manager itself. Okay. Can you guys see the screen? The live gold prices and community? Anyone? All right. Okay, so on this website that I have created, I'll definitely share the link with you guys after the session. You'll be able to find the live gold prices in Bahrain. When we speak of different purities, we have the 24, we have the 21, we have the 22, and we have the 18 karat. Now, anyone trying to invest in gold will definitely go for the 24 karat gold bars. Gold bars are only provided or only manufactured in 24 purity. The 24 karat is basically the 999.9. You'll be able to find the prices per gram, per ounce. Okay. Now I want to have, let's say, a question on, 1 second. Okay. Do you guys have any idea on what asset class could return the best, let's say, return over a year, for example? Is it gold? Is it ETFs? Is it a specific stock? Is it crypto? Of course, Kamal will be offended if I say crypto again. Tech stocks, BTC. Oh, BTC, yeah. Crypto. Okay, so I can see that some people are saying crypto. I think they're fan of Kamal's session. Okay, okay, no worries. Okay, 1 year ago, if you have invested in silver, you would have made 176%. So basically, if you had invested $1,000 a year ago, you'll be able to generate $2,700 in total. Your portfolio value will be 2,700 BD or 2,760 BD because silver went up by 176% over the last year, which is crazy. Bars and buying. Okay. So we do have different sizes for gold bars. For the gold bars, we have 1 gram, 2.5, 5 grams, 10, 15, 20, 1 ounce, 25 as well. We do have silver ETFs as well. There are different tickers for it. SLV is one of them. And we do have the silver bars as well. Silver bars are not provided in, let's say, smaller quantities like 5 grams or 10 grams, although they are available in the market. However, they are not recommended for investment purposes due to the fact that they are being charged for a high premium. Okay, on this website as well that I'm going to share with you, you can exactly enter your budget, 2000 BD, for example. You can choose silver or gold. It will exactly tell you how many bars you can buy of each weight. So it can tell you that you can buy a 1 ounce plus a 2.5 grams plus a 1 gram. You'll be able to understand what type of bars you can buy with your budget. Later on, I have added as well an investment tracker for gold, ETFs, the S&P, Nasdaq. What is ounce in terms of gold? Okay, an ounce is basically 31.1 grams. At some point of time, gold was being traded on ounces only, which is still the case. Gold is always being measured by ounce. So if you can see here, the gold price tracker, the price is quoted in dollars per ounce. So the price per ounce is 4,733 at this time. Okay. Now, where can we buy gold and silver bars? We can buy it from different places in Bahrain. There are different, let's say, jewelry stores and bar wholesalers that we can purchase from. I do recommend Al Maria Jewelry, Khalaf Gold, and BTC. Now, why do I recommend these three places exactly? Because they charge lower commission, and it's important to pay attention to the commission that you actually pay on the gold bar itself. Because some bars are being charged for 20 BD, some bars are being charged for 10 BD. The lower, the better. Never go for smaller weights, always go for higher weights. Never buy bits and pieces of small bars. Always buy a larger bar. Instead of buying, let's say, 1 grams, buy 5 grams bar. Is buying commission included in the final price? Yes, it is included in the final price. So for example, if a TT bar or a 10 bar is being traded for, let's say, 7,000 BD, a part of this 7,000 BD is the commission that they are charging. Is it Swiss bars or UAE? Now, there is no difference between the Swiss bars and the UAE bars due to the fact that there are no bars being manufactured in the United Arab Emirates. However, the packaging and the structure and the design is Al Ittihad Gold or any other UAE company. However, gold is not produced in the United Arab Emirates, neither Bahrain. Okay, we have the Zakat calculator since I saw some interested people in Sharia compliant solutions. So you can add how many grams of gold you have in 24, 22, 21, and 18, and it can calculate the zakat due for payment. Any questions so far? All right. Okay, so what drives the prices up in gold and silver? Is it we as consumers buying jewelry, for example, from Manam or from Jirhafs? Not really. That's not the case. What moves gold prices and silver prices up is the central bank demands, the country demands. As I told you earlier, we can see that China is the biggest purchaser of gold over the last years. We can see that Turkey as well is one of the highest demanders. The same goes for silver as well. Silver, we have India, China, the US, Japan, Germany, etc. Is investing in silver a temporary hype or a safe long-term investment in your opinion? That's a good, interesting question. But I think that whenever you buy any gold bar or any silver bar, it is always better to keep it for the long term. Especially because when you buy a silver bar, you pay a very large commission on the bar itself. So it's always better to keep it for the long run. If you buy a bar, for example, for 1000 BD and you pay a premium of 100 BD, it is always better to keep it for the long run in order to be able to cover the 100 BD and also make profit and to reach your break-even price. Do you invest in silver ETFs? Yes, I do invest in both silver and gold ETFs, as well as physical gold and silver. Why is there a huge difference between buying and selling silver? Yes, this is an important question. Now, why do I recommend gold and silver ETFs? It is because you can buy and sell them at the real current market price. When you buy, for example, a silver bar from the market and you try to resell it, you get shocked because the prices are reduced. So it's always better to sell it through ETFs, like buy and sell ETFs when it comes to silver. Except if you're gonna, for example, invest for 10 years, for example, or 15 years, or 5+ years, you can buy a gold bar at that point and sell it later. How can banks like JP Morgan forecast the future price? What technical info they use to forecast the price? Now, this is a technical question. They gauge the demand of the central banks. They use different types of financial modeling. They use different types of machine learning anticipations in order to determine the price future. They also use the Fibonacci levels, the RSI indicators, etc. So it's more of a technical. However, there are different types of modeling techniques that the big banks use. Okay, all right. Let me go down. I get this question every time I do a gold session. Where do I store my gold and silver? Do I store it at home? Do I store it at a bank vault? Where exactly do I store it? Now, if you're gonna speak of 5 to 10,000 BD, it's definitely more worth it to keep it at home, to store it in a safe box at home. Just to avoid the, let's say, 100 to 300 BD that you're gonna pay on a bank vault. However, you need to be concerned about privacy, you need to be concerned about security, you need to be concerned about storage, let's say, space. So that's the most important things that you need to consider. However, if you have gold bars that are worth more than 10, 15,000 BD, it is always better to put them in a bank vault like BBK, for example. I believe NBB has safe vaults as well, but I'm not sure. But here's an example from BBK. You can pay for 55 BD to 330 BD based on the size of the vault itself. There are a few cons which I don't consider actually a con, which is the branch hours only. You can only access the vault during working hours. You can visit the branch during working hours, and you can access the vault. There is no liquidity from contents. If, for example, for any reason you want to liquidate the bar itself and sell it during non-working hours, you cannot. You need to wait till the bank opens, which again, I don't think it is a great of an issue. Now, I keep getting frequently asked questions on gold and silver. On this URL as well, you'll be able to understand the different perspectives of gold and silver, where to buy, how to buy, where to sell, when to sell. Is there any legal considerations? By the way, in Bahrain, we don't have a VAT on gold and silver bars. So if you buy a pure gold and silver bar, you do not pay any VAT on it. We do not have any income tax on gold bars, nothing of that. I mean, that's an advantage for Bahrain. Is there any ETF that CFDs, other than CFDs, that you recommend? For gold and silver, I do not recommend CFDs. I do not recommend CFDs because of the risk associated with such transactions. You need to be aware of your margin level, you need to be aware of your equity, you need to be aware of your required margin, which is a hustle, to be honest. And that's more for a trader, not an investor. Buy through broker or physical, which is cost effective? Definitely through a broker. definitely a gold ETF or a silver ETF is way more cost efficient than buying a physical bar. And which one to put more into? Do you recommend buying either one, silver, gold, or both? It depends on your time horizon, it depends on your risk appetite. I think silver is more risky at this stage. It has been fluctuating dramatically. You need to be aware of that. You need to watch out of the price movements, especially when talking about CFDs, as Hussein mentioned. I do not recommend the CFDs at all. Now, for the future of gold and silver, there are different sources. There are different, let's say, articles that say gold will go to 7,500 BD. Gold will go to 8,000 BD. Gold will go to 9,000 BD. Now, that's not realistic بالنسبة لي, but it is important to take it into consideration, just so that you can understand the long-term trend of gold and where it is heading. I do have an investment. What is symbol of gold if we buy through a broker? SLV is one of them for gold. For silver, sorry. For gold, it is GLV. These are the most famous ones. There are many, many, many more. There are like hundreds of ETFs you can buy through a brokerage firm. I'll be sharing this link with you as well. It is a podcast that I have did with Kamal Alshehabi a few months ago, which breaks down every single concept and how to invest in gold and silver in details. If you want to get quicker access to news that affect gold and silver through the same hyperlink as well, you can reach to the factors that are affecting gold and silver. I do have a WhatsApp community. I'll share the link with you guys on the chat as well. You can join. I do share different, let's say, ideas, different perspectives on gold and silver, how to invest, market updates, etc. And this is the link to the website as well that I am showing you right now. Yes. Any questions? I'll stop sharing my screen. And I have a poll for you guys. I'm curious to understand more about your perspective. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen, but the question says, which asset class do you believe is best for the long term? Okay. Kamal, please watch out. Crypto is the last